In today's featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, we have a battle between a newcomer and a veteran to the world stage. Levi led GAM to international prominence in 2017 and has been a pillar of the VCS ever since. Despite his and GAM's consistent international appearances, he has never made it to Worlds quarterfinals and is desperate to finally break the trend.
Preshow going in from an ulti. The turret's probably going to die before the TP even completes. They're going between worlds. Levi diving into the back. If they find suivre, the game's going to be over right there. GAM just run him over.
For UmTi, his debut at Worlds is about silencing the doubters and proving his nickname as the General on the international stage. He and Team Liquid failed to secure North America's first seed at Worlds after an undefeated summer, and now UmTi is hungry to prove that he is the LCS's king of the jungle.
Weiser still somehow alive. Nico into the back line as Karaoke falls. Jinkado wants to get away, and Team Liquid will not allow it.
Both of these junglers have shown they can dominate in their home regions, and now they must seize the last opportunity to surprise and outmaneuver their opponent on the world stage. Today, it's win or go home.
It is the same position Team Liquid found themselves in last year, and he's not casting, guys. He's on the desk.
But it would be okay if I was casting because I'm for sure not cursed.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Guys?
Right. It's GAM versus TL.
Yeah, sure, but
It's GAM versus TL, and we said it already a couple of times, but it's because it's important, and I'm sure TL is thinking about it as well. It's GAM that knocked TL out of Worlds last year, and I want to start with talking about GAM just because I feel like "Make Them Believe," the slogan to this World Championship, fits so perfectly for them.
because the second you doubt them, that's when GAM pop up and they just headshot you. Like we saw with MDK, bringing out things like the Wukong, which Levi's been so good at domestically. Then you see Kiaya, who's been constantly bringing out things like the Aurora. Like, this is a team that is always up for an upset. And I think GAM as a region, or GAM representing the VCS, has really shown why the region is able to go for these hyper-aggressive plays, but also able to now enter into a new phase with a lot of macro that makes them so interesting.
Hey, if they've beaten TL last year and they've beaten MDK, then it's not an upset anymore if they beat TL also now, right? But we don't know going in, and the expectation
I disagree.
The expectation is, though, that for TL, it's all about, we've seen all these kind of puzzle pieces of what they are meant to show, and this is when it has to be shown.
Well, and then this is the thing. Just because they beat TL before does not mean that TL would have these same expectations coming into this year. It's a completely different team. Not only did they change out Summit and Pioshik, obviously they have a different top side, but APA and Yeon have developed massively beyond what they were last year. So I cannot overstate how much of a disappointment this would be for TL, for the LCS, for LCS fans, if they were to have the exact same result after all of the improvement you could see from them all year long and getting so close against multiple LPL teams. To fall here without taking down a big team would be considered a monumental disappointment for Team
Yeah, because this TL is built to take down the LPL teams and the LCK teams, ideally, right? And I feel like they really want a chance to show that again, but then they have to stay alive another day, Dagda. We know that those ghosts, those demons, they can plague people. I know it. Do you have the same faith Ezreal has?
I definitely do. I think TL have shown a heap at Worlds here where they are able to contend with the top dogs. So many of those games, they were in leads. It was just that last fumble where I don't think GAM is a team that will be able to find purchase in situations like that in the same way some of the top LPL or LCK teams can. I feel like this is a 2-0 to the LCS, but as I said, you can never underestimate GAM, you never know.
I knew I liked this guy.
Hey, look, G2 thinks I'm cursed. Maybe we're just too powerful together.
No, we're not. The double curse, it's a double negative, so it becomes a positive.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Am I not also a cursor? I don't know. It was a perfect end slate, but we couldn't. They weren't walking in yet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
give me another nugget, Ezreal.
Well, I mean, for TL, one thing I would like to talk about is, as far as things that have gone really well for them, is Yeon. I really want to highlight him because I was very critical of how he played at Worlds last year. You know, he really was not someone who showed up. He wasn't having a big impact on games. This time he has been stepping up, and even when the team is playing poorly around him, he's been a difference maker. You know, when I looked at Pain that series, I actually think it was the worst games that TL played, even though it was the games that they won. But it was Yeon that kind of saved them from some pretty bad decisions. You know, they had that one game where they actually traded, they went and got Baron, but they gave up Soul, and Yeon was the only thing that really won that game for them with a really big hero fight over by enemy blue buff. So it's just been cool to see his development, because you want these players who are putting in the work to get that reward. And he's one of those who I think we're actually getting to see that.
Absolutely. It's a bit of a mismatch. I feel like we're not as confident in kind of the mid and the bot lane for GAM, where we are very confident about their top side. And as you say, the bot side could really be a boon for Team Liquid. The grudge match is on. The best litmus test you could hope for to see if your improvements will pay off.
Thank you so much, Shocks, and it is now time for our second series of the night. TL versus GAM. Fist bumps coming through here as both teams raring and ready to go. See who's going to be able to take it, whether it's going to be GAM once again like what happened in the past, or whether this time it's going to be Team Liquid is able to eliminate their demons.
Yeah, so many things are different this time around. To set the stage, this Team Liquid team, with as much hype as they have had behind them this year, all of it was generated this year. It was not in place last year when those games were played at Worlds, and it didn't even actually start until spring playoffs in the LCS. Team Liquid started spring as a middle-of-the-pack LCS team. It wasn't until in playoffs, Yeon and APA really started stepping up. They started fighting more. They've done a lot of interviews, UmTi in particular also talking about the team deciding to be more aggressive, the team deciding to track enemy jungle and use that to open up possibilities for their laners to really express themselves. And so this whole year of building hype and excitement for Team Liquid is about to culminate right now, because we are now in an elimination match, and if it all goes south now, then it would be a huge crash to the big wave of hope and hype that has been building all year for this TL squad.
Well, on the blue side for Team Liquid, they are going to ban away the Yeon, which does make a bit of sense for APA, but does cost you a ban. But there's the Shyvana, 100% ban against Levi so far, and we did get a little bit of an idea as to why that happened earlier on in play-ins. Is the final ban going to be that Nocturne, Ziggs, and the Skarner taken away here by GAM? They never want to see a Skarner in their game.
Biggest word to me is that TL are not able to pressure or threaten that they play the Yone. We may see this become a problem as the tournament goes on, or as, you know, this series draft comes on, but critical that they steal away this Aurora, take it away from Kiaya, because he's already proved that he has put the time in on this champion, and he is a master of this champion. That being said, Kiaya is still very threatening on every other pick. You know, the Jax and the Rumble, also very big ones for him, and he does get the Jax.
As the Ashe is locked in, Jax should be self-explanatory. At this point, we'll see what the actual matchup is going to be. Is of course still the potential here for TL to swap the Aurora to either solo lane. Ashe though, I do feel like, especially into Aurora, having an AD carry, which really it's mainly just Ezreal, that can easily get out of tough situations or have any form of self-build is a really big deal, because it's basically guaranteed with the way that Aurora works. At some point you are going to get stuck in that ultimate, and I think that the Ashe is going to have to require some really good positioning from EasyLove not to get singled out in these fights. We'll see what TL can add though, because just Aurora alone not going to be enough. And actually the prioritization of the bot lane here, and so many drafts thus far this turn, I feel like have been we pick our solo laners and our junglers, and then bot lane comes into second rotation. Not the case here. Ashe Braum, insanely strong in the lane, but with how prevalent lane swaps have been, that isn't worth as much as it previously was, and it does make your engage somewhat lackluster depending on what gets locked in for jungle.
It's quite interesting because I definitely agree with looking for a lot of utility from the bottom lane from GAM, because usually it's Levi and Kiaya as the big carries here. Ashe lane's generally looking to win lane, but into TL, where they love to play around bottom lane, Corejj and Yeon love to be very aggressive. Want to see if the focus still remains there.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit worried. But one thing I do like about TL and what they have right now is the ambiguity, right? We know that you can put Aurora in a bunch of different places. They've locked down that bottom lane to make sure that that's just a strong one with a lot of engage, fits into a lot of archetypes. So I do feel like UmTi's pick, as well as what Impact or APA are going to be playing in the end, is something that could be sort of all over the place for these guys, as they're still thinking about their first ban for this second round. Kasante already taken away from Impact, and that is GAM sort of reading that this Aurora could be going all over the place.
I feel like this is warranted given how it's been so far, and obviously Jax means that Kiaya already has his matchup. Him and Levi have been the main characters of GAM. I think we're going to go 4 for 5 on the jungle bans here. Wouldn't be surprised is that Wukong also taken away.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of going down the Levi priority list. Shyvana, Nocturne, and Wukong are all 3 some of his most famous and prioritized champions. See if they actually want to, you know, throw another jungle ban, or if they feel like that is enough, and now we can look at solo lanes here.
You could just get rid of Vi as well and just say in for a penny, in for a pound, something like that. See what Team Liquid are going to do. It is going to be the Sylas removed, and not going to have to deal with that one in the mid lane. EasyLove, what is it going to be locking away here? I think holding on to some sort of counterpick would make a lot of sense, but with a team like this, I feel like counterpick for Levi is something that I wouldn't mind. And normally for junglers, that isn't really a thing, but maybe for GAM, it just kind of is. But instead, the Vi was left up, might just be snapped up.
I wonder if the Sylas is a sign they want to go for Maokai. I think Sylas into Maokai also feels absolutely incredible. Now TL is also going to have to show where the Aurora is actually going to go. So I think a pickup of the
does that show where it's going to go?
That's a fair question.
I mean, Ari would.
Ari would be that giveaway. Smolder still leaves some ambiguity, but I like a proactive approach more, particularly in a game 1, in a best of 3. See if you can take control early. You can always, like I think we saw Weibo do, just take kind of the back foot after the first game.
So, yeah, Team Liquid, they invested so... everybody played all AD, you know, mid lanes for a very long time. But Team Liquid did seem like they were a little bit slower to move away from that, and APA absolutely loves this Tristana. They do so much to funnel gold into him as quickly as they possibly can. They shove him into a side lane, they funnel him turret play money, and they try and get to that multi-item point where he can actually carry. And as you said, the Maokai here with the protection Sylas ban is the easy follow-up. So this is very like kind of old school TL. They have invested a lot. Of course, there is the new champion that they didn't get to use before in the Aurora, but pretty standard stuff on the side of GAM in answer.
Yeah, I just find it so interesting seeing Tristana Maokai picked as last 2 picks, because if you've been watching League of Legends throughout this year, you're like, but how did they get through? Because they were so incredibly powerful. I think still really strong as a duo. And I was pretty worried when I saw the Ahri, when I saw like these AP mages being hovered, because if you are then going to pick the Maokai, like we felt was pretty obvious, that's so much magic damage, even with an Ezreal.
To me, I'm kind of with you in that I do like the look from TL, even with the different patch and with the nerfs here, because APA's positioning has been a little bit suspect, but when he's on Tristana, it has always been really good because he has the rocket jump and the disengage with his ultimate. He just seems so much more comfortable. In some of the transitions, in like Syndra and some of the other angles that we've seen, the positioning has been a bit more of an issue.
It's also, as you're saying, right? Like, with Tristana, it's a lot easier to never get caught out. I want to ask you, Kobe, you're the one with the most emotion. How are we feeling?
I mean, I feel great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to see just them live up to their own standards. This is one of the things here. A lot of pressure. So much pressure is on the shoulders of TL right now. Not only because GAM eliminated them last year, but also because this year they really are shooting for the stars. They have very high hopes with how deep they can go, and they've been frustrated, honestly, with the beginning of this tournament.
And you heard from UmTi earlier on, as well as we jump onto the Rift here for game number 1. UmTi was saying that he feels like he has the LCS on his shoulders. It's not just their responsibility for TL, but their responsibility for the region as well to try and bring the LCS back up to the top.
Yeah, we saw UmTi, who we, of course, have watched for...
a true Giga Chad, man. Back from the start.
For many, many years. One of the 2 still remaining. We have Delight, obviously, waiting in quarterfinals, and I think this tells really not in terms of performance, although I don't think UmTi's at the best tournament, but like what
carry styles.
It's right. It's exactly. It's the play style. Levi has been the guy, which I don't think Vi really falls in that same wheelhouse, and I think the bans from TL were very effective in that regard. In that Vi essentially, although obviously you can carry for team fights, it's more for shot calling and decision making as opposed to the mechanics.
This is, of course, our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, UmTi versus Levi. And we saw in the bands already that both of these teams know that that was the featured matchup.
Oh, yeah.
That was in agreement because
Hey,
so
Braum
much
invade.
focus.
Love to see it.
Yeah, and this is the Braum special, right?
Yeah,
Bring all
Braum
the
and Ashe.
presents to put them underneath the
Level
tree. It's
1.
beautiful. Look at this, the Skinergy.
Okay, but he doesn't want the presents, Apres.
I know the tree's moving away, but that is theoretically the idea that Elio is going for, right?
And it's very interesting for a GAM to go against late swap against TL, who in the LCS, our biggest strength and the most talked about point for TL was how good they are in lane swaps, both the ones that they start out, but also the ones that they react to.
Kiaya in a little bit of trouble perhaps, as the Counter-Strike does wear off, down to about 250.
I also would just ask, do you not want the 2v2 with Ashe Braum?
Yeah,
And then I'm looking on the flip side. I think obviously playing into Aurora is rough the early few levels, but is it worth? Because if you are lane swapping away, you should fall behind in gold once this bot lane wave crashes and the plates are going to come through from Yeon and Core.
Yeah, I would think it's the Aurora matchup.
Has to be, right?
That is problematic for them. And we'll see if it's problematic later on. A lot of teams have, I think, correctly identified that, as you said, Kiaya and Levi are both the really big carries. And so if you are in a lane swap, then Kiaya should be further behind. We're going to see the rotation from TL. This late wave is very slow pushed, and they're going to bring over impact for that dive.
It's a huge wave that is crashing onto this turret as well. As UmTi moves over, impact is there. They're on a ward, but can Kiaya keep himself alive? That's going to be the question. Already getting taken down so incredibly low. There's the counter-strike, but it's just not going to do anything. And UmTi, he'll go down in trade, but I think they'll take that. Look at this experience going to waste.
Yeah, UmTi uses a Twisted Advance to go in there, so then, you know, does not have anything for dropping tower aggro.
Yeah, I don't think that had to happen. Like, there was 4 people there for TL. One of the big strengths of Maokai is, as you're saying, that you can go invulnerable, reset the turret aggro. And if Kiaya TP to this, I think this is 100% worth. But because he TPs, still catches a big part of the wave.
Yeah, I think that was actually a very good situation for GAM. You know, UmTi definitely rushed it there. You know, with the Twisted Advance in onto the counter-striking Jax already. As you say, a little bit of patience.
Yeah, I've been so used to the fact that all of our top laners are teleported to that lane.
Yeah.
But he was there the whole time, so I guess maybe I overestimated.
Got to juggle the tower aggro a little bit better with Corejj. You know, as Corejj is going out on the Rell, just let it reset, pause a bit.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Sometimes you just want to press W on the Maokai, and it's just a feeling that you get.
Well, sometimes your team,
don't blame UmTi.
Sometimes your team might flame you later if the Jax becomes a problem.
Yeah. Well, right now, we'll see whether Yeon's going to be all right up against Kiaya for the minute. Right now, the Leap Strike's saying no, as he is going to walk away. Should be all right for the minute.
There is no
Another
TP
stacked wave is coming on
available.
in, exactly right. As Yeon just trying to do what he can, flash out of the way of the Vault Breaker, but it's not going to save his life. As Levi happily tanks up the turret, and that's a better dive this time around.
That is a way better dive. The tower is also killing off the cannon minion. They're losing a bunch there. Impact is running down to try and salvage some of it, but that is so much better. GAM here.
Well, they also, you can see as well, GAM with the emotes, like, they're like, you can't dive us. Like, you're not going to get in the wave, and with sums, you can't dive Ashe Braum.
And I want to stress how sick this is from GAM, because TL have been touted as the lane swap and macro kings of NA, and GAM just fly in the face of all of that here.
Oh, Emo does see Corejj, doesn't know about UmTi, but shouldn't matter.
Yep, I think they know that there might be a ward there. You can see the sweeper is immediately activated here as Core does get rid of that ward. Levi over to the side as well, and so great defensive play here from GAM so far. As Kiaya going in on top of Impact, who does just bounce himself away. Not
Stealth,
gonna be able to
man.
do too much more. That's a heck of a thing.
I'm glad it's only been one Twitch so far. Really saw in that game, I think, what it can feel like, and I do think the nerfs for Aurora have kind of helped out. I remember the first time we saw her.
Yeah, and that didn't look okay at all.
Didn't look very fun for the opposing AD carry. Big, though, here from GAM to start off with, again, a 2-kill lead on one of their 2 biggest carries. And in this setup, Levi still going to obviously be one of the big points of the composition, but can't carry the same way you can with Wukong, you can with Nocturne. So Kiaya already having a lead on this Jax is a really big deal.
One thing I do want to say for Team Liquid is that TL have a lot of ways to deal with a Jax trying to come in. Bramble Smash, fantastic, but Buster Shot is one of the best anti-Jax abilities in the game. As soon as that Counter-Strike does come in, you just boop him away, and it doesn't really do too much. But that is in team fights later on. And so far in this early game, the Jax being put in such a great position means that his ability to flank in team fights not quite as relevant because he'll just probably mow through all your turrets.
Yeah. That being said, how much content have we made around GAM upsetting what are supposed to be major region favorites against them? GAM are legendary for that. Let's see. Wait a second.
Yeah, Elio could be in a little bit of trouble here. He's got a battle on both fronts. Elio just going to get smacked into the wall, and he's not going to be going anywhere. Is APA going to survive? The answer is yes. On about 100 health is now EasyLove just trying to get rid of UmTi, but he's pretty tanky as this Christmas tree. Meanwhile, on the other side of it, Kiaya trying to get that dive to work as Impact in melee range with Levi, and he holds them off.
Last time, the dive looked a lot better for GAM.
Arrow.
This
Headshot! What game are we playing?
I was about to say, good trade for TL. They brought that gold lead a lot closer. But with that pick, EasyLove keeping it in favor of GAM.
EasyLove with the easy arrow. Able to snipe him on the recall. Gets the extra kill here.
The blind as
and
well.
It really messes up the timing there for Tristana. Now APA walking back now. Actually, it's not very quickly shoved. So.
Oh yeah, Core actually caught the wave.
Yeah.
So very well done by him. Otherwise, this would have definitely been gone.
Yeah. Cannon still goes down though, and still a big one once again here for GAM to keep their lead.
Working out so far, but as far as gold is concerned, still under 1,000. Nothing really game-breaking just yet. As Core walking over a ward, making his way back towards this mid lane. Possibly dangerous, but the Winter's Bite is not going to connect. GAM are just going to back away, look to catch this one as it heads closer towards their turret. APA splitting on towards that top side, and Impact will make his way back to the lane. Did have to expend Flash trying to deal with that dive, and so possibly could be a revisit angle. With
Chemtech Drake already out of the rotation, you have a really high odds of getting a really good soul. So I think getting early Drakes is big. On the same occasion for TL though, getting a Tristana with 6 grubs is something that we've seen for, I assume, everywhere for the entirety of summer.
Yep.
Just makes your side lane threat really obnoxious to deal with. Tristana already has so much turret killer power between her E, which allows you to put the bomb on, and then with the Q you get a lot of extra attack speed as well. Does dash away.
Yeah, but Kiaya still catches him there just a little bit. The Grandmaster's Might comes in. UmTi in great position here as they're trying to get damage down. Twisted Advance comes in. Bramble Smash just to get rid of him. And they saw Levi. They back away. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, Kiaya here on the Jax with his level lead over Impact. Very big wave in front of him though. That Impact will be to catch a little bit back up there. But again, always worried about what Kiaya can do. Flash available on the Jax as well. And with topside pushing, 2 lanes of pressure there for GAM. Turret plate money achieved as well here for EasyLove. Very nice smooth opening for him as well.
Yep, looking very clean. I do like it though, APA on basically AD Ziggs. You know, towards this late game, it could certainly be a story of APA just moving into these lanes as, oh dear, cease and desist comes in, and yes, he's going to cease and desist, being alive on the map.
That duo right there going to be on screen a lot. Levi and Kiaya punish Impact with no flash. They get another kill here for the Jax. 3 kills for Kiaya on the Jax. They initiated the lane swap, and he's getting rich.
And APA teleporting in for 2 caster minions as well. And so, of course, you know, Kiaya could have possibly pushed in another wave and really caused a lot of damage, but they're forcing these summoners over and over again.
Yeah, we'll see if Kiaya actually goes for the teleport. When you're playing Jax, and even though I do agree with you, I think Tristana can keep her distance, but if Tristana is using resources to deal with the Jax, that's still a win for you. Like trying to playing into many auto attackers and an Aurora that is so far behind, I think Kiaya is in a really good spot of strength here, as long as he doesn't extend into the CC for TL. That's something that we haven't seen yet. When it comes to the 5v5, I think the GAM comp is still good, but it does feel like it's very reliant on Levi goes in, you hit the shockwave, and you go from there. As the setup be tough here on this top side play.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like Kiaya, when you're watching GAM, is always the most consistent player and always such a threat. He's just, even in games that they lose, he's able to do so much to get them, you know, openings in it. And this game, he is the biggest gold lead, and the Jax will be able to apply some split push pressure. So TL, here we go though.
Yeah, Emo is moving his way over. Impact will get here at the same time, and so Levi just going to back away, but doesn't have to expend too much, as we can see. So GAM still staying in it and staying ahead by about 1.5.
TL's usual game plan is to get down these outer turrets very quickly by rotating the Tristana or, you know, that type of champion for APA into the side lane. And they try and keep APA side laning for a long time till he can get to multiple items. And then try and use that gold lead, that funneled gold, very effectively in the team fights. So this time around, there's some critical mechanics that we're going to have to see pulled off. If Levi ults onto APA, Tristana can buffer the rocket jump for the ultimate. You have to get your timing correct there. You know, it's going to be a very, very important interaction because there's so much CC on GAM. You mentioned the Orianna shockwave that will be delivered by Levi, who's now bottom.
Ooh, big cancel.
Corejj moving forward. Kiaya probably just going to be clearing up this wave, but that is a cease and desist, and Corejj picks up the shield. Crashdown is good. But will he have to flash here to try and get himself out of the way? The Buster Shot just to protect
Emo's
him.
on his way.
Yeah, he's not out of the woods just yet. Shattering Strike goes wide, and now it's going to be APA that's the target. Levi is so dangerous. That Shockwave was absolutely sick. And APA not long for the world. There's the Vault Breaker. The flash going to be used. But Emo comes in. And Levi, there's a reason why everyone fears this top jungle.
That flash from Levi, setting up for the play from Emo. And GAM running away with this game.
The flash delivery for the dunk here from Captain Levi, and they're going to be able to get bot side pressure after that as well. I mean, we talked about in the opening of this game, but that duo, Levi and Kiaya, the Kobe and Shaq here for GAM. And honestly, Emo even getting in there too. With Emo with the assist, passes him the ball for the big dunk, but he just finds Corejj right here, and Levi says, great. I will immediately run him down.
Crucial here is that Aftershock falls off very early, so Core isn't actually that tanky. Rell's also relying on CCing multiple people. That doesn't happen. I'm kind of wondering, I think APA might have had an angle here to actually get out, but by the time that Emo arrives, never getting away from there. Beautiful flash from Levi. And they invest so much, but it's 100% worth, right? Like, it's a worthwhile investment. You get the bot side turret. I think these faces really tell it all.
Yeah.
And Levi was already ahead, already had his Sundered Sky there. You know, you saw the animation on the auto attack from the Vi. So really pushing forward. And then here you see it. He just hovers on Kiaya. Kiaya mining up extra gold off of all these turret plates. His Trinity Force is done. GAM here moving in now to take away the Rift Herald as well, which will go a long way towards these towers.
Yeah, so should be able to use that to try and help break down perhaps this mid-outer turret, something like that, try and open up the map. Of course, a little bit harder for a Jax to get towards that particular one. And 3,000 gold. That's what we're approaching here for GAM. Almost all of that money is into Kiaya and Levi. Kiaya especially because he's been in these side lanes getting all of this solo gold, and with our MasterCard lane economy snapshot, we're seeing that, yeah, we're a bit top skewed, but I think if you're a GAM fan, you're very happy about that, as Levi looking for a little bit more here, but Impact pretty slippery. He's able to get himself out, gives Levi the thumbs up.
Hold on.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp does come on through. Emo going to avoid that CC. The arrow is going to sail by majestically, but otherwise not do anything at all. But Kiaya teleporting in, that is a reason to leave. And APA going to press that rocket jump button, get himself out of there.
Feels like one of the first wins that TL have got. It's a minor one, you get a teleport, but it buys you a little bit of time. But I again want to highlight, like, this is a Levi that was heavily targeted in draft. And he still is having an incredible impact on this game. Very clearly, we saw there with Flash mechanically has hit all his Qs so far. Looking clean on the Vi. I think TL still have a lot of team fighting power. I think Maokai and Rell in a team fight scenario, you can never underestimate, especially with Impact being on that Aurora as well. Like, you kind of set up a fish in a barrel situation. But with GAM so far ahead, particularly Kiaya, who I think matches up really well into both of the solo laners of TL, it's very, very hard to play out.
All right, we got to see what the team fight from Team Liquid will look like. They have the extra shield from the Lockets built by UmTi, looking at utility there. And everybody at least has their first items, but the GAM members are so far ahead, especially the top side.
Kiaya.
It's going in!
Yeah, he's just going to get jumped on. I'm not sure about that one. Twisted Advance does come on through his impact. He turns up at the same time. He's between worlds and teleports out. And the turret will fall down. A lot of teleports invested as Levi. He was thinking about it, wanted to press that R button, but felt like it was maybe a bit too dangerous. Bit of damage here from Yeon. Can get himself over the wall pretty comfortably. And TL will back away. Man, after such a great early start here from GAM, it feels like TL are playing the defense a lot better now.
I don't know. Let's see. GAM turn back the offense on because they got Herald mid and they find UmTi. Levi just yoinks his Raptor right out of his hands.
The amount of emote usage in this game is so much higher than in our previous series. As there's the Nature's Grasp. Elio just stands beside Levi, gets himself out of there, knows where his bread's buttered. And GAM just back away. They get a charge and not a whole lot more.
So UmTi using the ultimate there to ensure that they don't actually get the mid lane. I don't think you ever really expect to get a kill there, but just making sure that the mid lane turret doesn't fall. TL at least holding on for now. This gold lead, while it's big, I don't think it's insurmountable yet, but they are one bad team fight or another good side lane collapse, which is I think where GAM has really shown, away from this game being completely out of their hands. And I know that the large part of this team has changed, the expectations have changed, the form has changed, but GAM right now still with a big lead.
Yeah, certainly. And you know, to kind of even the playing field a little bit and look at the possibilities for Team Liquid, they, of course, still have the power of the 6 grubs, which we saw in the previous series. They have the ability here to claw back in the gold deficit that they're facing right now. It's just that such an impressive opening to the game here from GAM gives them a lot of ways to dictate the pace here, with the Jax being so strong and the jungle advantage being so strong here for Levi. They're the ones that continually get to dictate the pace on the map. So until Team Liquid actually are able to finish off that top tower, actually able to group up and finish off the outers here, to open up some more space for them to really thrive on these multi-item power spikes that we generally look for them to peak on, and especially in double AD carry comps. It does seem like GAM have some really nice opportunities here.
And APA pushing on the top side, UmTi covering for him. Does look like the TP is coming through. I think they still do have an angle to at least get this turret, but doesn't look like they want to risk it. They don't have a lot of deep vision, right? UmTi's there, but they don't know if a bigger collapse is coming. And in 45 seconds, Drake is spawning. It's Ocean again.
We're getting a lot of Oceans. Where are my Cloud Drakes?
Have we not? Oh no, we've only got Ocean.
Was it Infernal leading out of plans and stuff? We had a lot of Infernals. I know
yeah, there were definitely a lot of...
Okay, we got a lot of TL members up towards Kiaya, but
yeah. UmTi gets the tinsel out. Let's see whether they can actually lock down Kiaya here as he presses Counter-Strike and says, no, you're not.
Yeah, like two members is not enough. Like, Kiaya is fed.
Well, it's okay. Corejj is coming up. So let's see whether 3 members is going to be enough, as at least they do get him out of the way of this turret, and with those 6 scrubs, very easily take this one out. So there's another one, trying to claw back that gold difference, but it's not really working out. Levi over the wall. They're going to answer with this outer in the mid lane, and GAM just seem to be trading up every single time.
But I do think that was a necessary, force by TL. Yeah, they had to invest in Maokai ult to make sure they can trade towers. But like you're saying, if GAM keep moving forward and trading up without your responses, then it would look even worse. Imagine the world where Kiaya actually was just able to stay on top side, and then the rest of the team also still got mid tower plus Dragon. TL are trying to work something out.
Yeah, this honestly, like, with 6 scrubs, this is certainly possible, but with Elio moving up, the Dragon being taken down very, very quickly, it's not going to be secured on this wave. Still, it does feel like with the slowing down of the pace of this game, it works in TL's favor. I think the more they stay out of the mud, the better things are going to go for the North American squad. But as you can see, the win probability powered by AWS still looking pretty in favor of GAM at this point. It's going to need to be a turnaround. It's going to need to be a good fight or a good outthink as far as getting all of these players into the right lanes to pick up this gold, as Impact moving in. Levi just going to push him out of there. They didn't know that he was around.
They can lock him down.
Yeah, see whether they can find him there as between worlds goes the Aurora. The arrow's going to go wide and Impact.
He's so strong!
What the heck is going on here? The Nature's Grasp doesn't work. He just grabs it in a 1 versus 3 and keeps himself alive. 2 items, flashing over the wall is EasyLove. APA just taking all of these arrows. EasyLove completes the kill there. And now Elio's starting up yet another fight. The rest of TL, they just want out.
The power of gold. 2 items. 2 items for Levi. The Sterix pops. He just brute force. They're not even done.
Yep, they're going back in. Pulled back by the Shockwave, and Corejj's wiped out. GAM now looking for this inner turret towards the bottom side, and this may have just been the back-breaking play.
Atlas, you said TL, they got to try and play a clean game, right? Don't get down, don't get dragged in any fights. And they see Levi, and they're like, hey, isn't he too... No, he's not too deep. This is an incredibly strong Vi, and the response is immediate as well here from GAM.
GAM walks up and says, hey, TL, remember me from high school? Levi and Kiaya. Honestly, really big props to Emo as well, because Emo does not get a lot of credit on this team, and the Orianna and the Shockwaves are going to be a very big part of how they finish this game off, but the rest of the team, I mean, you see EasyLove flashing forward on the Ashe for the chases here. Kiaya, now his turn.
Yeah, flashes over, and Impact just going to be taken down, bonked on the head with a lamppost. Kiaya will continue his push.
This is a stomp.
It is. It's. I feel like we've ran out of ways to talk about TL staying in the game. They're kind of gone.
It really was already kind of on thin ice, but now that the ice is gone, right? Like this is just a lake. And GAM, they're having a wonderful time. The only way I think you lose this game is if you give up like a Baron flip, which they should have never to do, because again, solo lanes are super far ahead. You can always get push. You have Ashe as well, which makes it even harder for TL to ever really make movements on the map that aren't being read.
I will say, so even Impact is really, really in trouble this game, quite obviously, but the double AD carries for TL have their 2 items.
That is true.
So their dream scenario is
maybe an overextension.
Yeah, perhaps, but Elio just gives him the door. There's the arrow as well. It's UmTi tanking up a whole lot as True Shot Barrage will sail through. Only hits onto 1. UmTi surviving. Sap Zipper going to be working out in between worlds. There's the shutdown, the double kill for Impact. He's trying to get out of there, but already he's traded up as now APA just shooting Levi. There's the shutdown, and it's another kill. This one going over to Yeon, and that one worked out so much better for TL.
The dream scenario becomes a bit of a reality. That's a little taste there. That's a little bit of extra money. 3 kills for the side of Team Liquid. They would love to be able to get an objective bounty, but there's no objectives that are easy for them to take. So even after getting the extra kills here, it is still GAM that get to push out the minion waves. And Kiaya even going to be able to touch this turret. Let's see if UmTi can keep him there long enough for APA. APA is walking from base and Corejj flanking over.
Yep, he's still very, very scary as Corejj moving in. There is not a lot of damage in this area, but APA needs to get here. They want to try and take him out, but he just walks his way out of it. Yeah, fair enough. Understandable there as well. And oh, man, let's go back to this fight here, because I've got something we need to talk about as well, Chronicler, but let's let Kobe take us through what happened.
Well, I was gonna. So
oh, you can.
Yeah,
you can do it. That's okay.
Really? So
go ahead.
Engaging, thank you, Kobe. Engaging onto Maokai is always going to feel like it. I think that's where Maokai excels, especially into a choke point. And then here we finally see the value of that Aurora ultimate, locking up everyone, no way to get out. And Impact might have had a really rough game, but that TP was absolutely pivotal. It splits up the fight, takes down some crucial members, and very warranted response here.
Yeah, exactly what the TL coaching staff want to see there. Some good plays. A little bit of...
Spawn's not ready to celebrate yet.
He was celebrating at the beginning. A little bit of surprise at the end there. You know, kind of...
4.5K.
Kind of metered. Like, they don't, as I said, they don't actually get an objective out of that. It truly would have been a step towards a comeback if they, you know, got an objective bounty shut down. But you put a dent in that gold difference. It's still going to be dragon stacking for GAM though, and TL trying to push on the other side of the map. They've got a controller on Baron, and APA trying to split push with Tristana. Again, this is his comfort zone on the Tristana, continually shoving waves.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Let's just flip a Baron as the Hawkshot sails by.
They saw the sapling being thrown from the Baron pit.
Ah, so that's going to give that one away. They now Get some vision inside the pit. Down to 50%. This one's not going down very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. As Corejj getting a little bit of a stun. The rest of GAM moving on over. That is a Nature's Grasp. But I don't think there's any follow-up here. So GAM, they do just push them out of the way. Opportunistic kind of liked it. But I do want to go back to what I was going to talk about before. And that is, this is an Aurora.
Yeah.
And you and I have very specific knowledge as to what could happen even if an Aurora is 100 CS behind, 6,000 gold behind. Sometimes she can just win games. And you know, we've seen it before, Chronicler.
It is one of those ultimates.
There's been a few, like, the nerfs have happened. You know, a second off that ultimate is a big deal. But it is still something that we need to bear in mind.
There's no vision. So GAM setting up a vision trap here. Obviously have enough damage to take down whoever walks up, but doesn't look like TL is going to fall for it, at least for now.
That's quite interesting in this game with, even though both teams have possible pick tools, both teams also have vision checking tools with the Ashe Hawkshot as well as the Maokai saplings. So if they are playing safe, should be able to like slowly use up and use those to avoid confrontation.
Can even use the Ezreal ulti as well to check the Baron pit. I do actually think that GAM should just start up this Baron.
Yeah.
Like, I think you want to fight right now. You are still very far ahead. It's really hard for TL to engage into you with that Braum if you position safely. And I think that slowly, this gold lead is going to matter less and less, right? Like right now, like 5 minutes ago, 4K gold lead, really big deal. But if it's still this, like 4 or 5 minutes from now, and I want to reiterate, I don't think Ocean Soul really matters that much in this game. I don't think that, like if you're a poke comp, obviously Ocean Soul is kind of GG, but I don't think TL really rely on it. They have so much consistent damage that I think they can easily push through. Obviously, it'll make the side laning a little bit annoying, particularly against Kiaya, who's now level 15, by the way, 2 levels up over Impact, so still very far ahead.
I want to see a Frozen Heart on the side of GAM, and I think that I will be seeing a Frozen Heart because those 80 carries that you mentioned for scaling so nicely, greatly inhibited by that item.
Thank you, Kofi.
Yeah, I think he'll be finishing that one pretty quick smart. He's certainly has some access to funds this game, does Kiaya. Now, moving very quickly towards that level 16 mark. There it is right now as Corejj clearing out vision, and the Baron has still been started.
Well, that
full vision.
Yeah, but they do it really quickly.
Yeah,
it's gone.
Wait, it's just done.
It's just gone.
The teleport is going to come in, but it's way too late. Nature's Grasp. There's some bounty gold as well for Team Liquid.
And they exit.
Yeah, they get the control ward in there. There's the Vault Breaker flash to come through. APA going to be taken down first. Can they keep these Barons alive? Is going to be the question. UmTi, he's trying to get out of there like a secret agent. Is now Kiaya trying to get some stuff. There's 3. The Shockwave under 2. And Magnus Storm's trying to keep Yeon alive, but it's not going to work. Everyone's in the blender. 4 on the floor. And UmTi's the only Baron that survived.
TL get Baron, but GAM make them pay! Levi goes in and he flashes and he kills APA instantly.
Or at the very least, I imagine UmTi is going to give this turret. Crucially, the base isn't open, so there isn't a window here for GAM to actually just end the game. We've seen that happen, you know, the classic Baron for Nexus.
Baron for Nexus,
That's not the
one.
case here. I gotta say, if AP, like, I think this will always be a rough situation to play out for TL, but APA with the Tristana, one of the reasons why she is so powerful and was such a mainstay is because if you are able to buffer the initial CC, without his damage, this composition doesn't work.
You know what it was? The Ashe arrow hit APA at Baron while they were doing it.
Yeah.
That stunned. See, he's stunned right now. That's why he is the last one leaving. EasyLove tagged him with the slow from his W, and then Levi follows up. So EasyLove is the one that keeps APA there and starts the chain of events.
Yeah, can't actually reposition to try and get behind his tanks. And this flash forward from Kiaya, making sure that all 3 are inside that one. The Shockwave as the cherry on top, and there was no way they were going to escape from there. Kiaya is just amazing.
That said, gold lead is what? It's basically it's okay. It's back. I'm like,
it's basically
way worse.
Yeah,
you guys trying to cope?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I saw them get the bounties right.
Yeah,
and obviously the team fight was rough. I thought maybe they got something.
Another one's on the board here.
Another bounty.
Another bounty is on the board.
We're trying to melt through this dragon. They should be able to take that, but objectives and getting out
Core.
hasn't necessarily been working, as there's the counter-strike once again. UmTi goes in, is going to split the floor
don't
there.
know.
Yeah, Corejj trying to find that Magnet Storm angle.
Wait, they do know. He's on the ward.
Yeah, okay, so not going to press that button just yet. Does have flash to try and get in if he can find another angle, but now this is looking very, very awkward and uncomfortable. As Impact off to the side, there's another Vault Breaker being channeled here by Levi, trying to find his opportunity as, yeah, UmTi was just getting melted. Between worlds, Yeon now trying to play these gaps, and EasyLove going to be taking down Levi. Could be the next one. Yeon is free firing. APA trying to fight against Timo, almost able to take him down, as now Impact is bouncing after them. The burn, is it going to be enough as Emo is not walking fast enough. Yeon gets over there, Mystic Shot lands. They lose 2, but they take 3 for it, and with that deficit, TL will take it.
They're going to get another objective bounty here, too. They're going to keep pushing, keep chaining. Team Liquid, continue the push.
They still haven't taken mid-lane turret. There's a bounty on that.
Forget mid-lane turret. We got inhibitor turret.
We're gonna get it.
These bounty strats are so next level. You guys were telling me that this is a team that knows their macro. They've taken it to it. Like, this is not what I was expecting. The bounty meta is coming in, gentlemen.
This is not a strategy, Atlas. This is a bailout.
Gentlemen,
It worked well.
it is now time to rewrite history. No, look at this kiteback, though. Look at this kiteback and the use of the brush towards the alcove here. As they're getting pushed to the opposite side of the map, Impact into the brush, and he goes for EasyLove. He hits EasyLove with that Aurora ultimate that you mentioned, and Corejj follows with the flash through. So Impact and Corejj able to win the bottom side of the fight.
What's crucial as well, even though APA ends up losing the fight against Emo, the Orianna not being in, combined with Kiaya being out of the fight when it starts, and EasyLove being eliminated immediately, means that all the gold on GAM is just not being utilized.
Yeah.
As a result,
Yeah, I think we're allowed to celebrate a little bit this time.
well, now it's only 3K at this point.
You were still worried, I think, when you were looking up towards the top of that screen right there.
My math's not great, Atlas.
Well, I actually expected that TL might have clawed back a little bit further last time at the same time, but this is only 3,000. This is the lowest the gold lead has been almost all game.
When he said his math's not great, I thought you were going to say, neither is your mustache.
Calm down now.
I like it. Max just doesn't like
We
it.
don't need to draw attention to that, Kobe. Focus.
Let's
I'm
focus.
completely distracted now, which is why I had issue with it in the first place.
Let's focus up here, though, gentlemen. Levi continues to take away the rest of the jungle, and we are only 1 minute away from the Baron. Team Liquid have fought their way, clawed their way back into this game where they have their double AD carries, one of the comps that they are very comfortable with. And you saw Impact with the Aurora, you guys even mentioned, just the power of the ultimate does a whole lot. He had the follow-up burst damage there to take down EasyLove and open up an area of safety there for Team Liquid. So now as they push forward, you know that Yeon and APA are very comfortable in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a 60 CS lead on Yeon as well, so he's feeling very, very strong. And it's third item Shadow Flame. And a lot of the times it'd be like, third item Shadow Flame, that's crazy. But there's no magic resist being built by GAM at all.
There's one little threat.
All right, yeah.
That's not a lot.
Elio's going to be immune to the Aurora damage, but everybody else is going to instantly die.
If we look at the item finishers for GAM, I think Emo needs to get his death cap. That's a really big one. He does have teleport available. I don't know if he caught it on this wave. He's looking to back. Death cap is such an insane spike. Gonna make that relatively close 1v1 between him and APA not feel close at all. As there is a TP. Death cap is done here for Emo. And he has a lot of great ball delivery systems. As TL says, why not again?
Yeah, I mean, if in doubt, just start Baron. And that's going to be hawk-shotted, so everyone knows what's going on.
Oaks landing, TP's forced.
Yeah, Corejj trying to stay in the fog of war as well. And so the teleport being used, is that going to be enough for TL? Looks like the answer might be no, as UmTi just staying on it. Control Ward does go over. True Shot Barrage onto 2. That is a lot of damage. This Ezreal is pretty fed right now. It's good buffer, but is he actually safe? There's the season assist, and it's APA that gets taken down by the Shockwave. Yeon, he's still alive. Can he be the carry here for TL is the question. GAM's health bar is so low, but they keep the phalanx, and Kiaya is now just bonking them all on the head. That is going to be the team fight win, and GAM might just walk through and win the game.
And even though APA gets the buffer, he's still an easy target for the engage. Gets blown up, and GAM is going to take game 1.
He buffered the Ashe arrow, but Levi delivers the shockwave from Emo, and GAM deliver the victory victory in game number 1.
What a slugfest here as GAM will take the first Nexus in this best of 3. But that game felt so incredibly long, so incredibly intense. Winning a game like this means so much in a best of 3 where your world's hopes are hinging. TL, it's going to have to be a huge bounce back.
I'm kind of speechless. I was speechless after game 1 in Weibo versus Fnatic, and I'm speechless again. I know we talked a lot about Kiaya and about Levi, but the fact that they were able to pull off like that, whoo!
And Emo's Orianna. Can't ask for more.
Yep, looked so incredibly good, but it's not over yet for TL. It's time for us to go to a short break. We'll have game 2 right after.
Red Bull gives you wings.